Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I bid to everyone here a very wonderful, beautiful, and warm good morning. Right, right now is the festive season of the CNY, is it? Yeah, it's the Chinese New Year. So I want to bid everyone here a warm Chinese New Year, Happy Chinese New Year. Gong Xi Fa Chai. And don't forget to keep your ang pao to yourself. Don't forget to keep your money, use it wisely, and don't use it excessively. Okay, don't spend it excessively. Be smart with them. Okay. So speaking of smart, today we are going to be smarter in terms of grammatical, in terms of grammatical English. Today we are going to learn about grammar. So in bahasa Malaysia or bahasa Melayu, grammar is tata bahasa. So we are going to learn about the tata bahasa of the English language, the grammar, the structure of the English language, so to speak. So, specifically, we are going to dive into the tenses and the time groups related to it. Right, so the time and also the tenses. Yeah, so what are we talking about here? Okay. This is what I am talking about. The English tenses. Right, so what are tenses? So, tenses are not what you think it is. It is not when you are stressed or your muscle got tense. So your friend comes and massage you. That's all the kind of thing about the tenses of we have 12 basic formulas of the English tenses. You may be thinking to yourself, 12, that's too many. We have to memorize all of it. You don't have to worry. Let me show you how simple it actually is. So we have 12, and you can categorize it into three different group and three different time and four different groups. So we have the present tense, we have the past tense, and then we have the future tense. And then for the group, we have simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. So what does all of this means? What is perfect, non-perfect? I thought humans are not perfect. Yeah, it's true. Humans are not perfect. But we're not talking about perfection in that term. We're not talking about philosophy here. We're talking about the grammar terms of perfection. Yes, so let us get into it. We start with the first and foremost, the easiest out of all the tenses, the present simple tenses, the present simple tense. Okay, so usually in the English language, uh, a sentence will be consist of first the subject, and then an object, and then a verb. Usually it would like this: subject, verb, object. For example, I say, I eat rice, for example. Okay, as simple as it sounds, it is a grammatical sentence. So I eat rice. So we have I, which is the subject. Then we have it, which is the verb, yes. And then we have the object, which is rice. So in this case, I put the sentence, he drives a car. Okay. Notice how when I say I eat rice, but here you see he drives a car. So what does this mean? Kenapa tiba ada S? Why is there suddenly an S here in the sentence? Okay. So in the English language, uh, we have this kind of term we call as the pronouns. So the pronouns, we have three types of pronouns. Okay, so what are pronouns? Pronouns is basically other things, other words you use to describe something. For example, I am Azim, but sometimes I don't want to call myself Azim. So I call myself as I or me. You see? So for example, I'm talking about that guy. Okay, let's say I'm choosing a name here. Let's say, okay, Shakirin, right? Shakirin. So I don't want to call him Shakirin. Let's say Shakirin is a good boy. Shakirin is very intelligent. I would want to change the word Shakirin. So I use the word he. So he is intelligent. He in this question is Shakirin. Okay, so whenever we are using the third person pronoun, okay, third person, when we are using the pronoun I, me, we, all those referring to yourself or the people associated with you, those are called the first person pronoun. When you are referring to a person you are talking to, so you're using the word you. You're using the word usually you only. So you in this question is the second person pronoun. And then we have he or them or they or she. Those are called the third person pronoun. Okay. So whenever a third person pronoun are in a sentence, and then there's a verb, the present simple verb, then we put the letter S, the letter S at the end of the verb. For example, when I say I drive a car, but when I say he drives a car. So what if you don't put the S? You would be grammatically incorrect. Your sentence would still make sense. People would still understand, but grammatically incorrect. So put the S when you're referring to the third person. Okay, simple enough. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have present continuous. So present continuous referring to the action that you are currently doing in the present. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm talking to you, right? I'm teaching. Okay. So I say I am teaching. In this case, we don't have to put any s in the verb. However, you have to be sure of the auxiliary verb that you are using. What are auxiliary verb? So auxiliary verb usually refers to the verb that you always hear. Okay. For example, is, am, are, was, were. All of these are called auxiliary. Okay. So these auxiliary verbs very important. So when you are using a present continuous sentence, be sure to put ing at the end of the verb and make sure to spell it correctly. Okay? So just like just now, you say he drives the car. Now he is driving. But what if I change the word he to they? So is they is driving? No. They are driving. So is the singular form. The plural form of is are. So can I say, for example, I is driving? Is it correct? No, right? So whenever we are referring to ourselves, I, we use the auxiliary verb am. I am driving. What about we? We am driving? No. Just like he, because we are using plural, so we are driving. Simple enough, right? What about you? Because you is singular, right? So you is driving? No. You are driving. You know why we say you are? Because are is for plural, right? And you is singular. So how does that work? Right. So for English language, the people of the old English people, they tend to use are in terms of they are respecting the people they are talking to. So in this case, we are respecting the people we are to actually. So you are. And then for today, we are going to stop at the present perfect. Okay, so what does present perfect mean? I thought perfect is only for God, not for human. So perfect here does not mean perfection. It does not mean philosophical perfection. No, we're talking about a completed action, an action that is completed. Perfect here means complete. It does not mean perfect like sempurna. Means complete. So whenever you are using a verb in a present perfect form, you have to put the word has. Has is an auxiliary verb. So always put has. But if the subject of your sentence is a plural, so you have to use the word have. So in this case, he has driven a car. So when we are referring to they, for example, they have driven a car in this case. So if you look at the verb, we have a little en at the end, driven a car. So how do we do this? Most usually, in the English language, we put the n at the end of the verb to signify that it is in the form of present perfect form. So that is all for now for the tenses of the English language. So see you again in the future class. So wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.